Is there any debt on the business?
Right now, yes. So I did take out a loan to get the food trailer. Took out $43,000.
Oh, $43,000 at what APR?
5 point something. The monthly payments are 740.
Oh, it's as much as your rent.
It is. It's more than my rent. Yeah, that's the business side of things.
And it's not up and running. How long ago was this?
Probably May. This summer. It's very new too.
It's a city. How long until everything's good to go and you can only 2 days a week? Are you going to be making $740 of profits?
No, not yet, but I will pay it with my main job as well.
$1,500 spent from there, then your rent, then this. You barely have any money left over.
Hey, it's your boy Nicholas, 28 years old, currently living in Metro Detroit, but grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, actually.
Whoa, what are you doing in Austin?
Coming to see you. Thought this would be fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly for this. I thought it'd be fun. I saw the videos like a few months ago, and I was like, I would love to be on the show. I feel like it'd be really interesting and fun.
There's no other reason you're in Austin?
Zero.
Wow, so we've had people travel and be on the show, but never for the reason to be here. That's incredible. Well, I feel like, all right, well, I should take you to dinner after this then. I feel like
it's quick.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about me. This being here is really cool.
Well, that's really cool. So first time that's happened. So thank you. That's an honor. I love that. What do you do for a living in Metro Detroit? I'm from Michigan, by the way.
I see the Western Michigan thing right there
go
and
Broncos.
the sign. I actually work for a major airline over there, so that's kind of the main gig, and I have a lot of days off and could get here.
That's really cool.
Pretty easily. So.
Oh, do you work like on the flights or?
Yeah, on the flight. So
what's the
essentially,
position?
Flight attendant, actually.
Flight attendant. Awesome. That's really cool. What do you bring in a year?
So the target I've been there for 3 years, has been $50K, but since I started, it's been up and down because of the pandemic. Paid hourly.
What is it an hour?
So my current level is year 3. It's $38.69 per flight hour, and then after 12 years, it'll cap out at 72.69 flight hours.
How many years have you been doing it?
Just 3, so I'm at the very bottom.
Yeah, so but only room to go but up,
Exactly. It really depends on how many hours I really work.
And how many hours do you work?
I try to fly at least 100 hours per month, but I've been looking at the numbers, and it's averaging around 98. Some months I take more time off, and some months I work more, but it's 98 right now for this year.
If you had to guess how much you bring in after taxes and everything on a monthly basis, what would you say it is?
I don't really know, just because I have a lot of high deductions and stuff coming out beforehand, but
best guess.
Let's say 2,500. I don't know how close that may be. I'm not too sure, but it may be more, maybe less.
I think it's more, but we'll have to talk about that, and we can talk about that, but going into your Ally. So with Ally, you have a few things on here. That Action, I assume that's just the base checking account?
Correct, yeah. Put a little nickname on it.
Nice. And then you have a holding account, travel account, emergency fund, future investments, and car and house account. Now, let's go to the checking account. With the checking account, and this is why I think it's more, but we'll see where that money actually came from.
Okay.
Starting balance, $158.06. Deposited, $6,153.
What month is this?
Okay. This is, the statement date was the 25th of last month. Okay. And then withdrawals, $5,213, ending balance of $1,098. Let's see.
Okay, I think I know why it's that much, but I have a lot of accounts, and Ally is actually my main account that I do most of my bills from, and I probably added money from savings, another account, to there to make it that much.
Well, that's not good having to take from savings, is it?
Well, it's technically not a savings account. It could be a de facto holding account with another bank that has a higher interest rate, and it's just like a pool of money that I have.
Okay. Now, why did you have to bring in so much money and take so much money out?
So if I'm correct, I made a mistake in transferring some money from another account, which I was supposed to use another account, and then I used my other account to replace that money that I took out. So that's probably the reason.
Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, in here, just lots of transfers back and forth. That's really all it is.
Also, I think my mom might have transferred me money from Venmo as well, so that might have been a reason. But actually,
why would she transfer you money from Venmo? I see a $563 cash out.
That sounds correct.
But that's not much compared to the $6,000. Why would she be sending you that much money?
So for her portion of my student loan, she has one of my bank accounts attached to it. And a couple of times for the portion I've been paying, it actually goes, she takes her amount that's supposed to be paid. And when that happens, which has only happened twice, she sends me the money that came out and just replaces it.
So you have student loans?
My mother has parent portions. I don't have any in my name at this time.
Where'd you go to school?
The University of Missouri.
What'd you graduate with? Did you graduate?
Hospitality management, emphasis in food and beverage in 2016.
Oh, very cool. Okay. And then everything in this checking account for this Ally checking account, it's just transfers back and forth, depositings and withdrawals, and transferring to things like Robinhood and other accounts. So that's really all there is there.
Yeah. Yes.
Not too much to say with that.
Yeah. I think a tiny bit of income from my job comes in there, but a very small fraction.
Yeah. Then you have a holding account. So what's the point of the holding account?
So it's I don't know if it's worth it, but I do it. So since Ally has a semi-high interest rate, I keep the majority of my money there until I need it to pay off the credit card for that statement month to get a few extra points on interest for that account, since the checking account doesn't have a high interest rate. So that's kind of the holding until the bill time.
Well, it's only $40 in here.
During this time.
Yeah. What's in there now?
It was $700, but I just paid off one of my cards like 2 days ago. So now it's probably like either 0 or around 40.
So you're really just trying to squeeze any and all interest out of every dollar you have.
Correct. Exactly. That's exactly what that is for.
It has had for the year. No, it's for the period. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that was the average daily balance. Never mind. Yeah, interest paid to date, 4 cents.
Yeah. So that's... For this year, it hasn't been too much, but other years it's been
a little better. Okay. Because I don't know if 4 cents is worth the hassle, but that's fine.
It's fun. You
have a travel fund. The travel fund went from $275 to $601. You've earned year to date $1.07 interest on this one. Now it's all just been transferred in with 3 different transfer accounts. So travel fund, do you travel often?
Very, very often.
And like outside of work?
Yes.
Okay.
More than the average person, yes.
So how much does the travel fund normally have? And then like what do you spend?
So as of late this year, I haven't really been using the travel account. It's more so been income that I've been using, unfortunately, for my traveling. But right now I should be using that like next week or in a couple of days with a trip coming up. But
and where are you going?
Going to Missouri in 2 days for a wedding. Going a little earlier to visit the college town just to hang out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I have time off that I could go somewhere. Depending upon how I feel, we'll see what I'll do.
I want to get back to that, but
sure.
We'll get through the accounts. There's an emergency fund. The emergency fund's a little weird.
Yeah.
$2,330 starting, $2,120 ending, but $2,299 was put in, $2,513 was taken out. There were a few debits, $400 taken out there, then $2,113 taken out there, then $2,071 put back, $183 put back, 45 put back. Why? What is going on?
So I think this is the time where I meant to add from Ally to Wealthfront from the checking or my one account, but it came out of this account, so I needed to put it back. And then am I ahead or more or less this month on this account?
I can't see this month.
I mean, on this statement right now.
Oh, I mean, right now you have a balance of 2,120 on this statement.
What, is that more or less than what
Less.
it started? Okay.
$200 less.
Okay. So with this account, it's not a full funded emergency fund. And I have taken some money into it and bought some dividend yielding stocks. And I have put some in Robinhood for some trades. And some of it's coming back, which is not the smartest thing to do with their emergency fund. But
that's not an emergency fund in the way that you're describing it.
I mean, most of my time is just sitting there, but seemingly there is a few things that I have been doing as of recent that is not a technical emergency
funds that are supposed to just sit there.
That is
and then
correct.
Never be thought about again. What's your rent on a monthly basis?
It's very low. It's only $400 a month.
Wow, Detroit. All right.
Because I have a roommate.
That is my condo association due every month.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Wow. Yikes. Okay. That's incredible. That's incredible. Okay, we'll get more of your monthly bills here in a bit.
Sure.
And then future invest. Some of it must have been invested because it went from $1,240 to $64. At least at the time of the statement. Where was it put?
That's a good question.
You don't know?
I have a good idea where it went, but
What?
if this is last month, then I've definitely put some money into this new thing called Here, which is, Masterworks, a little bit in the Masterworks for painting.
They wanted to sponsor a video. I said no.
And then there's another one Here for vacation rentals. That's pretty new. I'm not if that's on that statement. And then the rest is either Robinhood and M1 Finance. Yes, probably. I should know this, right?
Yeah, you should. This also sounds like your investments are kind of all over the place, but we'll see.
Very much all over the place.
Do you like Masterworks?
I don't like how the minimum investments is quite high.
How much?
Usually $500 per painting. I have seen it sometimes where you can do it for as low as $20, but that's only happened once. So I think I've only put in that $20 thing, but every time I check, it's always $500 is the minimum.
How have your investments been playing out there?
So it's very new, and I think you really see gains when those paintings are sold, and there haven't been enough history or action since I've been there. Gotcha. So I haven't seen anything yet, but investing for the future.
Yeah, I wanted to take their money, but didn't want to sell anything to the audience that I wasn't 100% certain on. So it's curious. It's curious.
It's different.
And then, that's just continued of that fund. So it's definitely important to know where that money is going.
So ideally, I do know where my money is going, but I don't go off of this.
Tracking in different ways?
Yeah, correct. Okay. Exactly.
Car and house fund. There must have been a car and house purchase because $2,253 to $512.
So this is another thing. Say the numbers one more time.
It went from $2,253 to $512.
Yes. So
you can get a house in Detroit for $512.
Yeah. There's a lot of things out there you could do. So more confusion. This is the original money that I wanted to put into Wealthfront. And since I have so many accounts and the numbers are different, that's where it went. So I probably took it out of the emergency fund. It was supposed to go out of this account. So I put this from this one into the emergency fund. And that's my final answer.
Okay. I don't like how you view emergency funds. at least with your actions.
That's understood. I'll give you that.
And then you use one as well. There's a credit line on here. You don't use it. There's a spending account. You don't use it because that would be like a checking account, I think. But then there's a saving account and an autosave account. The autosave has an incredible interest on it. So for your spending account, oh, interesting. So for spending, $2,950 was put in, but $2,958 was taken out.
Yeah. So since it has an auto save feature, I try to have most of my payments or my paychecks come into here, so it gets auto saved into the high interest savings account. It takes 10% of your deposits. So the majority of my paychecks are actually coming into one. And then I do use it for savings as well. And the other money I transfer to Ally.
Interesting. But the spending account, that just goes to sending it to sources where you actually spend money.
Correct.
Okay. And then the savings account. Love this. Interest rates 1%, just classic high yield.
It is actually 3% now.
Wow, that's incredible.
It just changed.
Woo, I think I'm switching to this. That's actually pretty sweet.
I think it's for existing customers now. The people who had it before the change, unfortunately.
Okay. $17,731 with $453 put in, $452, and then $18,183 ending balance at the time of this statement. That is awesome. Year-to-date interest, $70. Pretty sweet.
I'll take it.
So this is like actually your emergency fund.
No.
What is this?
I have a small business that I'm working on, and this is all of my business some of my business funds, not all of it.
What is the small business?
So in 2020, I started a ghost kitchen in Columbus, and now transferring over to a food truck. I just bought a food trailer like a few months ago.
Is yours a franchised?
It's my concept and everything.
It's your concept of food and out of Columbus, but you're not even in Columbus, so you employ people?
No, it's in storage right now because I'm getting the permits and going through some tests and stuff. So I have a dual city life, actually.
Oh, so you go there often?
Correct.
This $17,000, so this goes to paying whatever future things are necessary in order to go into the business?
Correct. I have a business account that has money in as well.
How much?
I spent a good amount of it now. Right now is at $5,000, but I've been doing some purchases.
How much was spent?
Like $7,500.
Okay. It's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
How did the Ghost Kitchen perform?
The Ghost Kitchen did not perform the best as far as revenue. I can tell you that as far as me getting a taste of operating a business, it was very fruitful. Trying to keep up with business, trying to market to folks, and actually getting feedback from the customers to see how the food tasted was the main premise.
Are you selling the same food?
Selling the same food, correct. Just changing the operations to make it more lean and less expense heavy, because I was operating out of a commissary kitchen that you had to pay per hour.
Right.
And it was unfortunately quite expensive.
So when this food truck is fully up and running, who's running it on a daily basis?
So it's going to be me, like I was running the Ghost Kitchen before. I have semi-control over my schedule. I'm probably overextending myself for a little bit. So I'll be working at my main job from Saturday to Monday. And then the premise is going to be me working the food truck for at least 2 days a week.
The food truck closed on the weekends?
That's yes. Me. That's my food truck, yes. It's not the most ideal situation, but this is a stepping stone for me to grow a more consistent and larger business. And like I said before, I was paying per hour, and I have another job, so it's not realistic for me to be open all the time. And with my job now, I work weekends.
You know what would have been super cool? It would have been cool if you were here for a few extra days and you were able to like talk to food truck owners on here, because we're in like the food truck capital of the world right here.
So many. I've been around, walked around, and seen so many last time I was here, and it's the wave.
It would be sweet if you could talk to them. Like I know a few of them who do incredible. So Yeah, that'd be really cool. But it's really curious. You're putting a lot of money in this, and you have a lot of money set aside for this thing. So
Yeah, I've been
obviously, we all hope it works out. I'm very curious. We'll have to stay in touch and see
I'll let you know
how things perform. When do you think it'll be up and running?
So right now, I just need to do a propane leak test and then apply for my city permit. And after I get the city permit, I'll be able to officially open. But I have my health inspection done. I have most of the equipment. I just need to open up those DoorDashes and Uber Eats accounts again. And
what are your expected revenues or profits?
That's a good question. I have a projection sheet that I made for this, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'm basically going from paying like $1,200 plus in kitchen time to $500 for a parking spot that I found. And that's going to reduce costs by a lot. It's just getting people to come back since I've been closed for a good amount of time. So long answer to say I don't have projections.
Question. I focus more on the personal finance side of things, not the business finance side of things, but I'm really curious. Is this your dream?
Very much so.
Since your living costs are so cheap, why not cut all your other costs? Take this $18,000 in your other savings, live off of that, and go all in this company. Why don't you do that?
I like my job that I have. It's has really good benefits and some benefits that I want to keep for a lifetime. And
but is a restaurant able to get off the ground 2 days a week, not weekends?
Increased sales. People looking at the numbers, sales did increase month to month. It varied from 3 days a week to 2 days a week. And telling if people want the food, they'll do it. I know that's kind of saying something, but it's not the most ideal setup. I understand. It's just what I'm working with. But
now, why Columbus instead of the city you live in? Because Detroit would be a great place for food trucks, up and coming areas.
Yeah, so when I did the initial thinking, start of the business, I didn't find any commissaries, kitchens in Detroit that I worked well, but I had been living in Columbus on and off for the past 10 years, and I kind of know the market. And my last job
What's in Columbus?
My family. Okay. I used to work in a food truck actually in Columbus, Ohio, right before this job currently, and I've met a lot of the different trucks as well, and I know the area much better than Detroit, and it was more conducive for me to start than a new city where I'm living in Detroit.
Okay. And before we move on from this, because I'm sure some people are curious, what kind of food do you make?
So I make fun breakfast food. You can think simple items, but flavor forward, and also creative items as well.
Breakfast food is my favorite food.
Same.
And yet you didn't bring any of it here, so...
It probably wouldn't have been good if I did. You have to whip it up fresh.
Fair enough. Well, I actually really want to try now because I do love breakfast food. I wasn't going to comment anymore on this food truck, but I love breakfast food. That's my food. I mean, I have the body to show it. So you have an autosave account, and this one's at 3%. Is this higher now too, or is this still at 3%?
Same, just 3.
Okay. So what's the difference between this one and that one? Do you have to like manually put money into the previous one we talked about? And then this one is just an automatic one?
Yeah, the save account with one, you just have to put in automatically, and then the auto save is auto. Just 10% of deposits will go in.
Okay, what's the purpose of this?
To put money in the higher interest rate.
But it's not higher than the other one anymore.
Oh, yeah, not anymore, but
so
it actually automatically happens because that's just how it's set up, auto save still.
Okay. So ending balance $1,630. So do you have any intentions for this money, or is it just included in your overall savings?
Yeah, just cash for the business, whatever expenses come up for me starting, the initial food costs for when I'm back open, and everything that's associated for keeping the business afloat before we become profitable.
So you have 4 different credit cards, it looks like. At least the ones that I have.
Yeah, 4 personal ones and then 2 business cards.
Oh, okay.
One.
We'll talk about those.
One old one as well.
Oh, all right. So we have your platinum card. Not much on this one. This was just $60 of purchases. Nothing crazy. And do you hold a balance on any of these cards?
Never.
Good. Delta Sky Club, which makes more sense. As I was going through all this, lots of traveling things, which totally makes sense now. Walmart, Uber, Audible, Peacock, Uber. So yeah, looks like a Lime scooter. Yeah, good way to get around. Really, again, nothing crazy there. We'll have to take a look at what all this spending essentially equals compared to like what you bring in and stuff like that. But we'll just continue going through. Chase Sapphire, $586 of purchases on this one. That's definitely a good amount for bringing in $2,500 a month. This one's just great. It's all, the other one was all wants too, but this is a page and a half of wants from Lift and Hog Heaven and Wendy's and Happy Camper and Mod Pizza, some food market and an inn that you're staying at, and Big Boy and a kiosk and Central Amsterdam something, and it just goes on and on and on. Down to, again, Lyft and Arby's and Mount Everest and Dunkin' and some pumps.
It's probably Dutch.
Yeah, and yep, more Amsterdam stuff and Culver's and Pilot and Uber and Fudgery, all crap spending.
I agree.
$500 worth of it. And then you have a Marriott Bonvoy card of only $47 purchase here, so nothing crazy. And this was just a PayPal, Meridian Hotels, and Courtyard purchase of some kind. So, again, that one's not that crazy. But we go back to crazy. $719 spent on here again. So what are we at now? We're at like $1,250 on credit cards spent, probably something around there. Also known as half of your take-home pay.
I still don't know what time frame this is, but yeah, I did all this.
Well, yeah. But yes, you did all this. HelloFresh, Hyatt things, vending machines, and Ubering, and YouTube payments, and eBay, Food Lion, Google Payment. So those were more YouTube things like renting. So there were some things on here that were more than just wants, like, gas. You got to get gas, and some parking's kind of sometimes non-negotiable. So, but again, the majority of it were wants. Happy to see Meijer on there, the only grocery store I think I've seen, and I do miss Meijer. We have HEB down here instead. Not as good. Doesn't live up. But these are all your spending accounts, correct?
Yeah.
I basically see no grocery shopping and all going out to eat.
During this time period, correct. Yes.
What do you mean?
Like, my schedule is here and there and everywhere, and things do change. And during this time period, I believe I had a lot of time off and did a good amount of traveling, and had a lot of good layovers to enjoy myself, and I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
You half your income enjoyed yourself.
And I don't know exactly what my monthly income is, but it's I have another system that I use to track my spending. Yes.
Are there any debts on your business credit cards?
No, not on the credit cards. My new one, I do have 1 year interest free. That's a new account.
How much is owed on that currently?
The balance. So right now it's probably, it's like $2,400 on one.
And you'll use your business savings to pay that off.
Correct. Yeah, I have it on auto pay. Everything's on auto pay. And the other card probably had like a few $100s on it as well, all from the business account.
Is there any debt on the business?
Right now, yes. So I did take out a loan to get the food trailer. Took out $43,000.
Oh, $43,000 at what APR?
5 point something. The monthly payments are $740.
Oh, it's as much as your rent.
It is. It's more than my rent. Yeah, that's the business side of things.
And it's not up and running. How long ago was this?
Probably May. The summer It's very new too.
It's a city. How long until everything's good to go and you can only 2 days a week? Are you going to be making $740 of profits?
No, not yet, but I will pay it with my main job as well.
$1,500 spent from there, then your rent, then this. You barely have any money left over.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, if every month was like that. But usually spending on certain things, unless you make more than, you've said, but mathematically, there isn't much money left over.
So right now, this year, I've brought in $43,000 so far, and we have a few more months left. So
$43,000 after everything?
That's before taxes.
How much did you say?
$43,000 before taxes, and we have a few more months to go.
I think you probably bring in closer to like 3,200.
Yeah, I don't like. The month is just so different every time. Yeah. So like next month is looking different than it did 2 months ago. So that's why I probably lowballed it.
Do you have any other debts?
No, just like I mentioned before, my mom has Parent Plus loans.
You're taking care of those?
Not the full amount. She's not asking me to pay it back, but being a good son, I wanted to do so. So right now I'm only paying $175 per month right now. With future, I'm telling her I'm going to pay more.
I can respect that. How much is left?
Oh, I don't know. Probably 40K or so.
Oh.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Whoa, $175 a month doesn't.
It's not. But I'm building myself up to bring in a higher.
Do we know if is the forgiveness doing any of those?
I am actually not sure. We haven't looked into it for the parent portion. It would be nice if it did.
And she makes less than 125?
She just retired 3 days ago. Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, I'm excited for her.
Yeah, how old is she?
67.
Oh, 67. I do not want her to have this $40,000 of debt.
Yeah, I'm going to take care of her.
No, I'm glad you want to, but you just also took out more debt that is $3,000 more than that.
Correct.
For a business that will not be profitable.
Yeah, not yet, but it will.
Yikes. Okay, so, wow. Okay, so your finances are all over the place. How much is in the Robinhood right now?
$1,900.
How much is in everything else? All those other various accounts?
My net worth is like $54,000. And then for the business, it's negative 17.
So, wait. So your real net worth is like 40.
If that's the math correct.
Yeah, because I mean, the business is money that you owe.
Yep. Negative 17 on that.
What's a Robinhood in? Variety of stocks? Or?
Yeah, 2 dividend yielding stocks. Well, no, 5 dividend yielding stocks, and then I'm trading Delta. Yeah.
Okay. And Roth IRAs, 401ks?
Yeah. 30, last time I looked, 36,000 in the Fidelity IRA and 401k to combine.
So you clearly have a way of doing things. You have strategized this all out. You're able to speak on everything educatedly. Your accounts are structured, though you didn't necessarily know where certain things went to. That's probably the one flaw in having it be so wild. This $43,000 of debt, what is your plan?
So my plan is, I actually save a lot of money. So a lot of it goes towards the business account. And I'm going to continue to do that until we get the business up and running, and it can kind of reduce that so I can put it more into retirement. But since I'm paying $400 in rent, I have $55 for my phone bill. I don't have many obligations besides.
Well, what's your plan for this?
Oh, like how long will I pay it off?
Yeah, how are you paying it off and when?
Oh, I guess I'm trying to say I'm using my income from my job, putting it towards that, into that account, the business account continues.
So once the business account is equal to $43,000, you're paying it off?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm paying it off now. It comes out every month.
But you're just doing minimum monthly payments? You're not going to pay more than that?
I plan on paying more when I'm more established and get the business up and running.
How long do you think that'll be?
By the end of this year, I should be bringing in some revenue.
Some revenue.
I'm just being realistic because it's a slow grind. Income previously before the trailer wasn't exorbitant, but we're working on marketing to increase that.
You think you have your hands in too many different pots?
Some may say, my father might say, my mother may say, but I am actually just following my dream and realizing it slowly but surely, and I have multi-steps plans to get to where I think is a good spot.
Wouldn't it be a better use of your money to be focused, though? The business thing, I love it. But then you have the Robinhood, you did Masterworks, you have all these other things. You have a billion different accounts that you have your money on. Wouldn't it make more sense to just focus in on a couple different things? An emergency fund, the business, and like a Roth IRA.
Yeah, I think that's a wise thing to do for most people. And I believe that these smaller things out there is a small fraction of my total net worth and money. And I would
Not if your net worth is only 40.
1,900 compared to 40.
Wait.
1,900 in Robinhood compared to 40.
I thought you were talking about the debts.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, I can see that. I can see the logic behind it at least. How bad do you want this $43,000 of debt gone?
I plan on paying it off before it's due.
How much does it weigh on you, though, emotionally?
Oh, no, not much.
What about the student loans that your parents are taking care of, or your mom's taking care of?
Not much. And
Really?
it's not because I'm not paying it. It's just I know that I will take care of it. That's why.
That's an interesting mindset. That's kind of a kick the can down the road mindset.
I'm paying the business account off monthly, so I'm taking care of that portion. Nothing is being terrible. My mother's portion, I am doing a smaller amount, but I think about her and I want to take care of her, and I plan on being quite financially.
Instead of planning on taking care of her, why don't you just take care of her?
I consider myself starting this business and getting it up to where I want it to be as taking care of her, getting another source of income that is comparable to what I bring in now as the airline, and then having these two fists to help her.
Sure, but do you know what I'm going to say?
But it's in storage, it's not making money right now. Or no, what were you going to say?
Spent like $1,500 on fun within a month. That, if you, instead of helping take care of her at some point, 67 years old, why didn't the $1,500 go to paying off that student loans right now? $1,250.
I don't have a good answer for you. Just
that's why I'm trying to gauge your wants and how much these weigh on you.
Sure.
You could pay them off quicker.
Sure.
But you're out living the life, traveling the world.
I am.
What's more important?
And I'll reiterate this again. She's not asking me to pay for it. I've made the decision to pay for it, and I will pay for it. And looking at my budgeting app, the percentages of income to go into savings and investments, it is better than most Americans.
But that's not.
I was gonna say, but being better than most Americans isn't that. I don't want to say easy. I don't want to say easy, but the step to do so is not like Herculean.
Yeah. Most Americans are absolutely terrible at money, so it's not much of an accomplishment being better.
But I'd say I'm a few strides above, but I have a long way to go.
And I would say you are as well, but
I know it's a lot. It's a lot on personal. My job, so I'm gone all the time in these cities, and I like to enjoy them while I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I am there all the time. But yeah, so
Would you like to enjoy not having debt instead, though?
I know that I will be debt free.
You keep talking about the future instead of right now, though. Instead of taking action right now to do things.
I just, what do you suggest?
Well, I always wanted to create a YouTube channel, and I kept telling myself I would create a YouTube channel. Told myself that for a decade. Eventually, I did it, but that's because I chose to actually do it in the moment.
Okay. To do
this
it.
doesn't happen until you actually do it. Just talking about doing it means nothing.
So does it mean nothing to do the payments now? Just because I have it is kind of the problem. Is me paying it off not mean anything?
I mean, $175,000 to $40,000 in student loan debts for a 67-year-old. And I know she said that. It's probably because she's like the kindest, most
She's
awesome.
really sweet.
And I love that. And I love that you want to help. And I love that she did that to help you. $175,000, nothing, when you spent $1,250 on fun. So what matters most to you? That's your choice. I'm not saying you're necessarily bad or wrong for doing that.
Yeah.
But you made it sound like this is something you really wanted to do. You have to decide what has priority.
So I will say the business has priority right now.
What about the $1,250 of fun? Does that have priority?
I will say at this, or we should talk some more. At this time, I was in a relationship. I'm actually out of a relationship now. So some of these payments was actually split in half. Money was given to me via Venmo. So we could say this number of 1,000 something on fun is a little bit less because I split it with my partner, and it was very nice of her to, share these experiences with me. So the numbers aren't as much, but yes, I know I spend a lot on fun.
I'm essentially considering your mom's debt yours just based on the way you're talking about it. Meaning there's really $83,000 owed.
Okay.
A mandatory $43,000 owed.
For the truck.
For the truck. You don't have any car debt. You don't have any more student loans. Okay.
Yeah, no. And I've probably paid like 4 or 5 payments so far on the $43,000.
How much goes into that business account on a monthly basis?
Yeah, so it does fluctuate. It's always, I'd say it averages more than 500. This month wasn't that much.
Okay.
But
so with the different savings accounts that you have, or investing accounts, would you be willing to consolidate and say, all right, I have my Roth IRA, which I assume you do. I have my 401k, cool. Let me go ahead and get rid of this Robinhood, this Masterworks, all this other BS it's working for me, but let's focus up. Take all that, put it into your business savings account. Is it getting less than on average than some of those? Maybe, we're in a down year, who knows? Put it in there, and pay off this truck as quick as you can. I feel like if it was at 3% or less, I'd be like, all right, minimum monthly payments, see it through. But 5%, it's over to that 4% that I like to see for minimum monthly payments versus paying it off quickly. You should pay this thing off quicker.
it's actually, it's 5.83 minimum right now. I'm paying.
Wait. What is 5.83?
That's the interest rate.
On what?
On the.
Oh, it's at 5.83?
That's what it says.
So it's basically 6%. All right. Yeah. Well, now this is done.
Yeah. Pay it off.
It's because I assume it works like any other trailer type situation where it probably just goes down in value over time. Maybe not as aggressively.
Yeah, not as aggressive. The resale market, I didn't buy a used one because the prices were like really comparable to a new build. So this is a new built one.
That's also probably because of the overall market that we're in general.
Yep.
Meaning that probably bought it at. Yeah, so I'm actually curious where the prices are going to be headed for the.
Yeah, so the actual trailer cost $39.99, and the 43 was just extra money.
All right. Well, again, what I would do, I think I've already kind of made what I think clear, but I'd just figure out your priorities. I'd cut the 1,250, maybe it's like a 750, whatever, fund a month. I would cut that out because I have a 6% depreciating asset debt on a business that's not going to be profitable, so it's a liability to the business and self-sustainment of the business. I would take every single penny I make and throw it at that and pay it off so that your business has less downward pressure on it as you're trying to build it up. As quick as you can pay this off, and it's going to take a while because it's $43,000. Also, your emergency fund sucks. And as someone who works in an industry that can be deeply impacted by something like a pandemic, and a business that will not be profitable. Luckily, your living expenses are pretty low. And it's time to put that to at least $10,000. Then never touch it again.
Yeah, it was at $9,000, and then I had to buy a car.
Okay, that is
2,000. Yeah, and essentially, if I had an emergency that was like more than what's in my emergency fund, the money that was going towards a future home or car is going to take care of that. So I have cash elsewhere.
And speaking of which, time to consolidate that as well. Yeah, we no longer have a car and house fund. We no longer have a future investments fund. The travel fund you should get rid of. You should get rid of the holding fund as well. Put that all into like this business thing and put that all towards this trailer when you can. Maybe you want to save it up until you have the amount necessary to pay it off. And then at that time, have the $10,000 emergency fund, which will help cover you in the business losing money as well, but then also save up for a business emergency fund as well after that. But that is what I would do were I in your shoes. What are you going to do?
What am I going to do? Definitely going to think about this conversation that we're having right now. After ski season, I would definitely be traveling less, and of course when the business open, I'm going to be laser focused and building that up. Consolidating the investments that you mentioned, Robinhood, if you're meaning selling that off and putting towards the business, that could be a possibility, something for me to think of.
Just to get rid of the debt.
Yeah.
The bad debt.
The bad debt. I'm also someone who's thinking about the ups and downs of the market and trying to keep shares for the future. I know you speak about me talking about the future and I'm living in this right now. It's just kind of, time down the road when I had X amount of shares of this company and the future value of the money.
No, I get that. And that's what I would normally say and agree with as well. But you have to pay this thing off.
Yeah.
This thing is going to be, because it's a bad interest rate on a depreciating asset on something that essentially contains your entire business that will not be making profit. Yeah. It's more of an emergency situation than typical for me.
Okay. Yeah, and the depreciation part is definitely less depreciating than actual auto.
Still depreciating.
But I really want to say it's stagnant because if you look at...
I think you bought at the peak.
Yes, I did buy at the peak.
So...
but the peak is still here, and I guess building costs are still high. And I really don't plan on selling this thing at all. The plan is to have multiple of these one day.
That's fine. Still doesn't change.
Yeah. What do you think I should do?
Well, it doesn't change the amount and the amount of interest on that debt. So.
And like I said, I want to pay this off, quickly.
So what are you going to do?
What am I going to do? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to get the business open. I'm going to scale it to break even, scale it to profitability, continue to use my salary to pay off the trailer, and increase my monthly payments to pay it off faster. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So you're not going to do much of what we discussed other than that last part.
I will think about liquidating some shares that I have and putting it on the trailer. And also come February, I should have a big lump sum coming in ideally. And
From?
Profit sharing with the company. So probably going to put a lot of that onto the trailer.
All right. Go check out his Millennial Money episode. It's linked in the description below. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts is Yo, this is really cool having this conversation with you, and I kind of knew the having the line of credit for the trailer and me not paying it all the way off would be something. I'm happy that my expenses are quite low, and I'm not drowning in a person who's really struggling. I know I can definitely do better to catch up with you and other folks. And yeah, this is really fun. I kind of make YouTube videos too, so check me out in the comments. But that's it.
Okay. He'll give it to me, and I'll link it
Yeah.
in the description as well.
But this is really fun. Austin, Texas.
Cool.
Financial Audit.
Let Nick know what you think about his financial situation in the comments below. And if you want to see these happen live, as well as talk with me on a daily basis and have a video chat once a week, feel free to join my private Discord, which helps this channel grow a lot, in the description below. Shout out to my 4 Cups of Coffee supporters: Abdil Martinez, Mark, Josh Bennett, Clayton006, Tyler Chong, Drew Smith, Timothy Williams, Sam I Am, Jason Spriggs, Nicholas Daly, Tom Mel, Jay Freedom, and Hans. 8 Cups of Coffee supporters making the dream come true: Joseph Strickland, Anthony, an anonymous supporter, and Sam V03. Subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.